let's talk about wellness a little bit. It's a buzzword that I think a lot of times people think if I put a yoga mat in the call room and occasionally give a popsicle that we have a wellness plan. What things can you kind of comment to about wellness in the PEDS residency program?
That's a good question, because I think that's hard to figure out without, really talking with residents about their experience. It's not something that you can put on a website. It's not something that you can easily see on their social media page or anything like that.
Backup call and sick leave and family emergencies and the financial grants that are available to us for any financial hardships.
You break your arm or you get sick or family is sick, we're just so Emily and everyone is just so supportive and understanding. And what's really nice about having a larger program is that we can support each other in that way. And
there is a really, I think, special camaraderie among our residents. And I think just a real, not just willingness to help each other, but just desire to do so. People spontaneously offering, hey, this person seems like they could use some help. I could come in this day and help them.
Regardless what the policy is at other programs, I don't know that everybody has that culture of safety to just say, hey, I'm having a really hard time for reasons A and B, and I think I need to take a break for a minute.
Sometimes it's your time to get the help and making it okay to ask for help. And sometimes it's your turn to give the help and really trying to build those habits that we all need as physicians in our careers, because there will be ups and downs.
And I can say both as somebody who's requested support, but also given it within my co-residents. We've been very adamant to help change call shifts, to change entire rotations around, things like that, in order to help optimize one another's schedules and support each other outside of work.
Life happens and we'll be there at some point, so it's easy to help someone out.
To give an example, I had some major health scare when I was an intern, actually, that led me to be out for about a week. When I recovered from that, and the program never put any of the burden of finding shift coverage or anything like that on me, and they worked really diligently to get me a return to work plan, which I think was really lovely.
There's no one that I wanted to see who doesn't live in the area that I haven't been able to see during residency. You're able to schedule your PTO with a large amount of flexibility.
Not only do we have good parental leave, not just maternal, but paternal leave as well, which is important.
Especially being a resident that has, a family with children, and when things come up, either a kid is sick or spouse, trying to manage schedules, the program has definitely been a tremendous help in, finding coverage.
A lot of unseen support, things which I didn't realize pick up on initially, the fact that we have house staff cup teams in which it's trying to create it seems very Hogwarts-esque.
You're well fed. It's things like that the program leadership thinks about to make your residency experience about taking care of patients and learning how to be a great pediatrician that you don't have to worry about during your training.
We played Jeopardy over Zoom last Friday, and it was still as heated as it always is when we play Jeopardy.
It's a competitive bunch for a bunch of Minnesotans.
Something that's commonly talked about as well as the PTO policy. It's very great because you can take one day at a time, which has been helpful. So for the last month, I was on an elective, and I just took every Friday off because I wanted the opportunity to go up to the cabin.
I think our program is extremely open to feedback and making opportunities for residents as far as changing curriculum or changing how we do rotations.
As a first year intern, I wanted to do some time at the Specialty Children's Hospital, which is usually just a third-year thing. But I was like, hey, I'm an intern, I'm interested in this. And they're like, sure, here's the guy, call the doc and we'll figure it out. And so that was a really nice time to kind of explore career path stuff from a complex care situation.
I've been trying to work on at least making a border health elective happen. And I had a lot of support around that as well and trying to get that established.
And then second year, I knew I wanted to do ED, but we typically do our children's ED month in first or third year. So we were able to swip that for an elective for me.
With our global health program in particular, I really wanted to have an experience where I could go abroad, but it's not necessarily one of our established sites.
And so I just like brought up this idea, and within like a couple weeks I had meetings with Global Health and everybody was so supportive. And now pending COVID, like I'm going to be able to spend 2 months abroad in Puerto Rico.
So it's just, the flexibility is endless.
I graduated from the program in 2012 and have been in touch with it and involved in some capacity since then. And the amount and caliber and direction of change that I've seen in the program is fantastic. And honestly, now that I work at a large institution, I have no idea how this residency program is able to incorporate feedback and change for the better as fast as it does.
I love when residents or prospective residents ask about how the program is changing or how the program has changed, because I think that speaks to the adaptability and the flexibility of the program.
You know, talking about being a sort of innovative program that's not afraid to try new things. I think, you know, with all the COVID stuff and pandemic and, you know, civil unrest in the Twin Cities and just so much stuff that we've been through over the past several months, I think it's been helpful to be able to just go back to our guiding principles. Like, what would we always do? Something's not working, we try something different. If somebody needs support, we give them support. We launched a whole, you know, noon virtual learning conference series, which we had never had before. It's been awesome. It was like totally resident led. They came up with the idea and it's been great.
When I was a chief, we just started doing these like fake block eds. And we would do a little bit of education, but it was mostly just we've got lots of people at different clinical sites who don't get to see each other very often. Let's bring them all in one room, which sounds anathema right now in COVID time, but and do some education and do some networking and social building. Parlayed that into this really successful block ed program, which has reduced the moral hazard of residents who are rounding on patients inpatient and then have to choose between noon conference or discharging their patients. And patient care always wins that fight. And it's not a problem anymore because they have dedicated time with buy-in from faculty, that the faculty are covering this while they're doing their important educational activities.
I feel like there's support where it matters. And I see that because like support always matters, but like whenever the George Floyd situation happened, the immediate action that was taken with regards to seeking out like what are the best ways that we as a program can support residents, and even the GME office like calling together everybody and saying how can we as a GME actually support all of the programs and the residents within them. And I feel like the response from not only a state level, but also like a residency level and like a program leadership level, like really speaks volumes to the humanity in the program and leadership, but also like the moral and ethics of this program.
This residency program is not afraid to learn as a program and grow as a program and challenge itself as a program. And for any of you who've been paying attention to the news lately, you know that our city in Minneapolis and our community here has been learning and growing and challenging ourselves as well. In the wake of the murder of George Floyd and the civil unrest that happened here, I've seen a really incredible transformation happening in the Twin Cities around issues of racial justice and health equity. And I see that paralleled in our residency program. We're all learning together, we're all growing and changing together. And I feel like this residency program is not stagnant. It's not the same residency program that I went to.
It's one thing to encourage residents to always like use our voice and speak out, but it's borderline useless if like the program like leadership isn't going to do anything about it. And that's definitely like not the case here, which I think really like makes our program like very much so distinct from others.
Emily, your chief residents and co-residents will do anything they can to support you through good times or bad, things that have to deal with work or things that are outside of work. This is a safe place for everyone, and we hope to support you along your journey.